Welcome in as we hit the All-Star break in Major League Baseball. It's a Monday edition of the Sports Huddle on SEMO ESPN Radio. From the Yuengling Sports Huddle Studios, Yuengling is the iconic American lager, America's oldest brewery, Yuengling. Eric Shawn and Rusty Hendricks in studio, inviting you to join us. Here's how you get into the Huddle. Our EBOMD Huddle hotline number is 573-334-1220. 573-334-1220. The Huddle hotline powered by EBOMD. Rusty Hendricks decked out in Cardinal gear after the little mini losing streak was snapped yesterday. It was basically from first pitch to finish 7 hours at the ballpark. They had 2 rain delays that totaled 4 hours and 2 minutes, and in the final analysis, the Cardinals avoid going into the All-Star break on a 3-game losing streak. They salvage a game against the Braves 5-4, and if you are a Cardinal player, nobody would say it in the post-game press conference. You are sitting in that dugout going, are you freaking kidding me? We've got vacation plans. Yep. We've got to catch a flight, the family. We've got this break. And so everybody's got plans, except Brendan Donovan. He's got plans to be in Atlanta, his home state. And the only game that goes long in Major League Baseball yesterday, in terms of the weather, the Cardinals.
Yep.
7 hours. Those players had to be thinking, are you freaking kidding me?
Exactly. It's not something they wanted to do. And, think of a guy like Matt Olson who's in the home run derby tonight, right? I mean, he was obviously a part of that game.
He's going to substitute for Ronald Acuna, right, who's got a back issue.
Yeah. So, interesting. I was there, actually. I did not make it the full game. I made it to the 5th inning after the, third rain delay. We're like, okay, we're leaving. But
official attendance over 26,000. I mean, how many do you think were there for the ninth inning?
Oh, for the ninth inning, probably less than 5. I mean, there's nobody left hardly.
I think maybe they were letting people come on down behind home plate, exactly, so it looks a little better on FanDuel.
They were joking. There was some fan that came down behind home plate, and there was a big strikeout late in the game, and that guy was doing the umpire thing behind, and they were joking with it on the broadcast about it. So, but they were having fun with it. But yeah, after all that, it's in sunny gray. It seems like every time he pitches, rain delay. They wanted to get him in. Big thing, they wanted to get him in 2 starts before the break. His last start, rain delay before the game. Now he was able to pitch his full. I think he went 5 innings in that game, and then yesterday rather, 3 innings because he. That long rain delay. I mean, what do you do?
And then on Saturday, it was Eric Fetty, and Cardinals got him some run support with 3 runs in the second inning. That was after he had already given up 2 home runs. Fetty can't make it 5 innings. It's 4 2/3. It's 6 hits. It's 2 homers. It's 3 earned. They got him out of there, and Ryan Helsley ends up blowing it and taking the loss in the baseball game. Iglesias just blew the Cardinals away in the 9th inning. But it is not a loss for Eric Fetty, but if it was an over-under on 5 innings, what kind of odds do you think that Fetty's not getting through 5 innings?
Well, look, Eric, I mean, this is progress. What else do you want from Fetty? He made it past the 2nd inning. I mean, what else do you want from him?
I want him on the DFA list is what I want.
That's not going to happen. We know that.
So the Cardinals win the game, and, of all people that step up for the Redbirds, 139th career at bat for minor league call-up Jose Fermin as he got the start, and his swing was the difference.
And the next delivery is hit high and deep to left field by Fermin. Back to the track, and it's gone!
What a
time for your first big league homer.
And a big blast here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Turned out to be the game winner. That was a combination of Rick Horton broadcasting through his nasal passages and Chip Carey. They kind of spliced him in right there. But Jose Fermin, his first ever big league home run. What a spot to hit it in. And the Cardinals hold on and get the win.
Yeah, and you mentioned Helsley the day before giving it up. He did allow some base runners, Eric, but he was able to finally get the save yesterday. But, yeah, good moment for Fermin. I mean, Ali talked in his post games about that it took a little bit longer for him to get to the post game interview because they were celebrating Fermin in the clubhouse. So I thought that was pretty cool, having him get that first home run. Yeah, it's been a minute, and he's been up and down with. I think he's had like a 8 or 9 year minor league career. I mean, he's a journeyman, right? I mean, he's one of those you'd probably lump in that 4A category, right, for a player. So for him to do that, that's cool. Good for him and good moment, and obviously a better moment for the organization as they were able to get a victory and find a way to avoid the sweep. So that was a big home run to put him on top, and thankfully they were able to hold it.
And Oliver Marmol, who refused to call up Michael McGreevy and instead went with Eric Fetty on set. Oh, wait. The Cardinal fans who are all over Marmol about sending Fetty out there, do you mean to tell me Oliver Marmol doesn't control the roster? You mean he can't call up McGreevy? Yeah, it wasn't Marmol's fault. He was given his marching orders that Fetty was going to start on Saturday. But here is Oliver Marmol after taking a little extra time to celebrate the Jose Fermin clutch home run after the ball game.
That's why I waited a little longer to come out here. They're in there celebrating, and well-deserved big swing. This is a guy, man, he comes to the park, he's ready to play, he'll do whatever you ask him to do, he knows the role. But to come up with that swing was awesome. And we've had him here before, and he just grinds. He understands his role in this whole thing, and he'll never complain, but he's always ready. So to come up big in that spot and during a day like today was fun. The work that's being put in definitely comes to mind. Their adaptability, their desire to improve, their desire for tough conversations in order to grow stands out. That feedback loop that we talked about quite a bit of just coming in the next day and being able to break down the game, they're always wanting more. Their ability to come together as a club, they have a really good understanding that this is a group that could be together for a while, and what they're building towards could be special. So I like the way that's coming together as well. Yeah. We had a very short bench today, even with making the move. They're continuing to grind, and they wanted to make sure we got to the break. So these next 4 days are important. Yeah, so it'll be good to hit the reset button and then get after it again.
All right. And if you watch the replay of the home run hit by Jose Fermin, it was Jesse Chavez, who has been around forever. He's 41 years old. Was down in the minor leagues. He's had multiple stints with the Atlanta Braves, and it was a tailing fastball. It tailed in. If you watch the swing by Fermin, it was a great swing because a lot of those, there are a lot of players in Major League Baseball that would not have hit that ball out of the park. You could see he had to pull his hands in to get the barrel of the bat on that baseball. That was a terrific job by Fermin.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned it because, look, that's a pitch. That's not easy to get the barrel to it. So it would been easily for him to get jammed and not be able to get much power on it. But for him to pull that down the line and keep it fair, number one, but also park it in the seats, that was pretty impressive. So again, congrats to him on his first home run. Hey, I submit to you, Eric. He's now 10 games this season. All right, that's double the amount of Jacob Mizorowski. Batting .389, a home run, couple of RBIs, just 7 hits. All-star, right? He's played double the games as Jacob Mizorowski.
We will get way into the Jacob Mizorowski All-Star selection. The quotes. I've got some sound from Ron Darling, former major leaguer. His thoughts on Mizorowski making the All-Star team. The Philadelphia Phillies were unhappy about it. We'll get into that. But Alexa Dat caught up with Jose Fermin after yesterday's 7-hour marathon.
Before the at-bat, Mason was like, hey, this guy likes to throw the sinker to get the double play. So I went to the plate looking for a sinker. I got it. I put a good swing on it. Something I dreamt of since I was a kid. And to be able, to put that good swing to help the team win was pretty special. I actually talked to the guy out in left, and he said, I think they got it from him, and we're going to make a little deal. I'll give him a bat, and he was cool with it. Since spring training, that's all we've been talking about. We were like the underdog, and, we're here to prove people wrong.
You could tell nobody was at the ballpark. It was just Fermin and Alexa Dat. There were a couple of people milling around, but that's why you heard no crowd noise in the background. But Fermin, apparently, all he had to do was give the fan a bat. He got his home run ball.
Yeah, that's cool. I think it was a Braves fan. I think when I was watching the broadcast, I saw that it had a Braves jersey on. So, but that's cool that they would have worked that out with the fan and get that ball back. He deserves that.
So the Cardinals hit the All-Star break, 5 games over 500. They are a game and a half behind the San Francisco Giants, who've lost 2 in a row. Those losses, all 3 of those Braves games were one-run baseball games, and you hope you don't look back at the end of the year and think, Sean Murphy, really? I mean, he was a one-man freaking wrecking crew. Phil Maton had not given up a home run all year, and after hitting 2 home runs on Friday, he hits the go-ahead, what turned out to be the game-winning home run on Saturday. You hope it doesn't come back to bite you, those 2 losses to Atlanta right before the break. May hurt you, it may not hurt you, but that was a frustrating weekend to me, that Atlanta came limping in here, losers of 8 of 10, and just no dice for the Redbirds.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you go into the series, you look to win. You just were able to win a series against the Nationals. I mean, the Braves, obviously, like you said, have not had a good season. So, the issue was the pitching. They didn't get good starting pitching. Libby, in game 1 of the series struggled for whatever reason. Obviously, Fetty was not the best either on Saturday, and so that was a big reason why. Then Helsley, obviously, the issue on Saturday in the bullpen after they got the lead. But Cardinals too, they were limping in. Eric, they needed this break because they just brought up Herrera yesterday to come in the lineup because of Newbar rib injury, oblique, right? And then obviously with Arenado, it didn't play all weekend because of an issue with his finger. There's other guys banged up. Basically, Ali also in the post game talked about, if it was any other time, that there were some guys in the lineup on Sunday that wouldn't have been in the lineup on a normal day if he had enough bench. So basically telling you there were some guys playing through stuff even on Sunday as well. So seems like a good time for kind of a 4-day break for the Cardinals. Hopefully they can kind of reset, kind of heal up a little bit, and then make a little charge in the second half.
My guys, Nolan Gorman and Joel Pozo, leaving the premises over the weekend. Another home run for Pozo, one for Gorman. I still believe in those guys. I know Gorman's
showing it.
Goes through his rough stretches, and Pozo gives you a good at-bat every time he comes to the plate. I understand he is not a starting catcher in the major leagues, but, man, a bat who is legit coming off the bench. Cardinals don't have many of those.
Lefties.
Yeah.
When they struggled against lefties. I wish they would play him more at catcher. Like you said, I understand he's not a guy that needs to catch every day, but I don't know. Pages,
when you get to the bottom of the lineup and there's one out, and there's Pages, and then there's Victor Scott coming up, you're like, come on. Yep. There's always guys on base in those situations.
You're right.
It just seems that way.
Yeah. So, wish Pozo could get in there a little bit more often. That'd be nice.
You know who the hottest team in the National League is?
The Brewers, probably.
The Milwaukee Brewers have now won 7 games in a row. Here are the teams in the National League who have a better record than the Brewers. Cubs, Dodgers. That's the list. That's it. And the Cubs are only a game in front of Milwaukee. The Brewers, it is unbelievable how they do it year after year. Pat Murphy, their manager, is doing a marvelous job. And all of a sudden, man, their starting pitching rotation pretty good. Peralta wins again yesterday. He's got a low 2 ERA. Brandon Woodruff is back. And the Miz, the all-star rookie. I mean, that's a pretty formidable top three, and Woodruff is rounding back into form. Remember, that guy was an all-star before he got hurt.
Yeah, and he looked good the other day. And, look, 5 starts for Miz, and there's no doubt since he has come in and been a part of the club for the Brewers, they have made a run. And what is it, about a month and a half ago, the Cardinals were in second place. The Brewers were like third and fourth place in the division, Eric. And you thought, okay, well, I mean, they're hanging around, but they're not really, making a run. Boy, this last month they have changed, and they have become a much, much better team. Their lineup has gotten a lot better as well. I mean, Jackson Chourio is a stud. He is a stud in their lineup.
Hit a big home run yesterday.
Man. And some of the other guys, too, having pretty good seasons. So, kudos to them because they year after year, they're not working with the same payroll, but they find guys that do well.
It's unbelievable. Every freaking year. Their bullpen is
the
fantastic.
Rays of the Midwest.
I mean, their bullpen is fantastic. And so it comes down to you've got Josh Hader as your closer with Devin Williams as your setup man. Well, I think it disrupted the chemistry of the team when they traded Josh Hader. I think everybody will tell you that.
I agree.
And it hurt them. And so they do not pursue him in free agency. They moved Devin Williams into the closer role. He was fantastic. Suffered a back injury last year, but when he came back, he was lights out. If you follow John Boy Media on Twitter or X, you can see he broke down how Devin Williams was tipping his pitches in the playoffs. But the Yankees gave him a big deal. He struggled early with the Yankees. But Devin Williams, an all-star, they did not pursue him because last year, when Devin Williams went down, they inserted Trevor McGill as the closer. Trevor McGill, who tops out at 102 miles an hour on his fastball. He is their closer. It's 21 saves for McGill now and a 2.41 ERA. They didn't pursue Corbin Burns, one of the best pitchers in baseball. He went to Baltimore, got the big deal with Arizona. Obviously, he's having Tommy John. I mean, it's just unbelievable how they just cycle through pitchers, and now they've got one of the best young pitchers in the sport in Jacob Mizorowski. Willie Adames had 100 RBIs last year. I think he led the National League in RBIs. They let him go. They don't miss a beat.
Yeah, it's crazy. They just don't make mistakes, right? When they make decisions to move on from a guy, Eric, it's almost always the right decision. At the time, you think of it and look at it and you think, ugh, I don't know about that. I mean, that's surely going to hurt the Brewers, right? That's going to make an impact.
I mean, not only did Corbin Burns leave, but Woodruff got hurt.
Exactly.
So they were down both of their top 2 starting pitchers.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. Won the division again. And I would probably bet on them to catch the Cubs. What I think is going to happen in the NL Central, the NL Central will be decided by the general managers of the Brewers and the Cubs. The moves that are made at the trade deadline could swing it for the Cubs or the Brewers because right now they're pretty evenly matched. Now, the Cubs have a much better offense than the Brewers.
Right.
The Brewers have better pitching, top to bottom, starter to closer. The Brewers have better pitching than the Cubs. The Cubs can bash you with their offense, but then they'll go through stretches where they get beat 11-0 at Yankee Stadium. What, you can't get a run? You can't get a freaking run. Now, they did end up winning the series, the Cubs, but it's a good thing they did, or there'd be a tie for the top spot in the National League Central. The Brewers are 1 game behind the Cubs' 7-game winning streak.
Yeah, I mean, they're making a charge, and you mentioned it. I mean, look, if they can add a little bit at the deadline, I mean, Brewers typically aren't a team, Eric, that they're going to make a splashy move, but I don't know the Cubs will either. But Cubs need to shore up the pitching, and they need to get a little healthy. But you mentioned it. We'll see. Maybe
Cubs are going to make a move. First of all, Jed Hoyer, their 2 key front office guys are in walk years. Their contracts are up.
Yeah.
You don't think there's pressure on Jed
true.
Hoyer to make a key move here? Now, the Brewers' general manager is new because their GM went to be the GM of the Mets.
Right.
So he's not, coming up on a contract deal, and look at what they're doing. But the Cubs are built to win now. They don't know if they're going to re-sign Kyle Tucker.
Right.
They're going to be teams like the Dodgers lining up, Yankees, whoever. There's going to be big money thrown at Kyle Tucker, and the Cubs will just look ridiculous to trade their top hitting prospect and then don't get Tucker re-signed. I mean, it's torches and pitchforks in Chicago if that happens, but they're built to win now, the Chicago Cubs. So I expect wheeling and dealing at the deadline for the Cubs, and it just seems like the Brewers will they'll go out and make a couple of under-the-radar moves, and they'll solidify what they've got going on. The Brewers are remarkable, and whether you like it or not, they own this division.
They
are better than the
for
Cardinals year in and year out.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the word that comes to mind is savvy. That's what, to me, describes the Brewers. But look, one of the things I like about them is that they're also aggressive, but maybe, again, not splashy, but aggressive. Like, for example, Eric, before the draft, who was the one team that made a move before the draft? It's teams like, the Rays or the Brewers. We saw, not waiting to the trade deadline a couple of years ago, the Brewers make that trade to get Adames, things like that. So that's what I like about the Brewers, that they don't necessarily stick to the status quo, that they will, again, find those under-the-radar moves, and it makes sense for them, they'll do it. So whatever they do, it'll probably work out, because that's how it's worked out for them over the past several years.
Jacob Misiorowski, the phenom pitcher for the Brewers, has made 5 major league starts. He's 4-1, 2.81 ERA. He is must-see TV. I'm not saying he's in Paul Skeens' territory, but he's not far behind Paul Skeens in terms of, I have got to watch this kid pitch. He outdueled Skeens when they pitched. Now, Skeens can't get a freaking run. Another, over the weekend, Skeens gives up a 2-run homer. That's all he gives up, and they lose 2-1.
Right.
He's 4-8. It was just announced he's going to start the All-Star game for the 2nd consecutive year.
He leads the league in ERA?
Yes. 4-8. Everybody understands why his record is 4-8. But Jacob Misiorowski, because of injuries, was added to the National League All-Star team. Matthew Boyd of the Cubs, who won yesterday and was terrific, has said, okay, I'm not going to the All-Star game, so they had to replace him. And they took Misiorowski after 5 major league starts. Ron Darling, the outstanding baseball analyst for the New York Mets television broadcast team of Gary Cohn and Keith Hernandez, talked about Misiorowski making the All-Star team, and I think the point he makes at first is a very valid one. Don't blame the kid.
Right, not his fault.
He didn't do anything. Here is the analysis from Ron Darling, very successful and World Series champion pitcher from the New York Mets.
And this is one of the most polarizing topics that I can remember. Yesterday, the rookie Jacob Misiorowski named to the NL All-Star team after just 5 starts, the fewest games ever for someone named to an All-Star game, surpassing by a wide margin Paul Skeens, who had set the record last year at 11.
Well, hey, listen, let's separate the kid from the choice. He had nothing to do with it. So to have any vitriol against the Mizorowski, is ill-placed and silly. It's not his fault. They decided to do it. But it can also be kind of a joke to the game and the integrity of the game that he's only pitched 5 times. Now, you were saying 11 times Skeens pitched?
11 times.
Last year, and he was in the All-Star game, and it didn't really raise any eyebrows around baseball. I think the problem is that there are so many deserving pitchers out there that look askance at this choice. So, again, separating this young man who's gotten off to a great start in his career, he had nothing to do with the choice, but it's a bad choice for baseball.
But it's a bad choice for baseball. He is, if you are familiar with Ron Darling at all, and you'll see him on Major League Baseball Network, he'll be on some national telecasts in addition to the Mets. And there are times that I'll just tune in MLB TV to watch a Mets broadcast because I love their broadcast team.
Right.
I just love hearing their conversations and everything. So I will watch Mets baseball because of their broadcasters, just like I'll watch Giants games.
John Miller.
Well, he does some TV, but I'll also listen to some Giants games when he's on the radio most of the time. But your thoughts on the points that Ron Darling made, and after 5 outings, 4-1, numbers are great. He's blowing guys away. His last start, 20 pitches over 100 miles an hour. He's box office. People are going to be excited to watch him pitch in the All-Star game, but he makes some pretty good points. 5 starts, All-Star, really?
Yeah, so I'll try to be brief. I gave my full thoughts on my show on Saturday about it, Eric, but look, I agree. I think it's a bad look for the game. Again, nothing against Mizorowski. He didn't make the decision. Good for him that he gets selected. But what do you think it says to the players, other players that are more deserving? That there's plenty of other candidates out there. For example, even on the Cubs, their closer in Palencia, he could have been selected. There's plenty of other guys that could be added, but you didn't go that route. And look, I understand what the game's trying to do. They're trying to get more eyeballs, but is it really going to give more eyeballs because of this kid? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to change that much as far as some more people going to flock to watch the All-Star game.
If you're in and out of watching the All-Star game and the announcers tell you, hey, Mizorowski's warming up, it looks like he's going to have the 3rd inning or he's going to pitch in the 4th inning. Aren't you going to stick around to see that kid come in and start pumping triple digits? I will.
Sure, and probably more now because of the story that's come from it. But before that, most people are going to be like, who is this kid? I don't know who this is. But for someone like me and you, right? Baseball fans, yeah, we're going to stick around and watch him because we know who he is. We know what he can do. And, yeah, it's exciting.
Now, doesn't Major League Baseball get criticized on a regular basis for not promoting their stars enough? Like,
is he a star?
The NFL.
Right now?
He's
5 starts in?
He's a star right now. In a small sample size, Paul Skeens only had 11, but the difference is everybody knew who Paul Skeens was.
Right.
Because
Followed
of the
him in college,
national championship in LSU.
Correct.
So people knew Skeens. They didn't know this kid from a little junior college.
Right.
And he was burst onto the scene and beat Skeens head-to-head. He did. Of course, the Pirates can never score for Skeens. But in terms of pitching lines, he outpitched Skeens that particular day. Now, there was some soft contact. I watched the game, but Why was I tuned into a Pirates game? Because it was Mizorowski and Skeens.
I watched it too, Eric.
Yes,
I did too.
it's a fantastic matchup.
Right.
So here are the Phillies, who have 2 terrific pitchers who are not on the All-Star team. Speaking of Ranger Suarez and Christopher Sanchez.
Both deserving.
Here are some quotes from Phillies players about Mizorowski making the All-Star team. Trey Turner told The Athletic. What a joke. That is effing terrible. I mean, that's terrible, dude. Nick Castellanos. It's turning into the Savannah Bananas. That's Castellanos. JT Realmuto, their catcher. That's just how MLB does it now. Nothing against Mizorowski, but Suarez and Sanchez are deserving of being on the team that's in first place. There's no doubt. Castellanos would go on to say Major League Baseball is really just focusing on the most marketable players. So the fact that they can have somebody in the game that is going to basically blow out one inning, throw 103, 104, they're going to get more eyeballs on baseball. They're going to think it's getting more popular. These are guys who certainly have a dog in the fight with two pitchers that did not make it, and they're both have ERAs under 3, both statistically deserving. But I think it's interesting that baseball gets criticized for not marketing their best players like a lot of the other sports do. And here they make a move to market a guy whose star is on the rise, and now they're getting criticized for that.
My thing is look, if he has 10 to 15 starts, okay, in that window, then I'm totally fine with it. Even if let's say he had a 3.5 ERA instead of a 2.8. I'm fine with it because he had a little time into the game, but 5 starts to me, that's a bad look, Eric, in my opinion. Set a limit. Okay, 10 starts, 10 appearances need to be the limit as far as a start or something like that. But look, I understand the marketability, you want that, right? But there's a historical part to the game. Okay, for a lot of these guys in their contracts, making the All-Star game, you get bonuses for that, right? Okay, a lot of these guys at the end of their careers, okay, if they make one All-Star game versus 10 All-Star games, that's going to help you as far as the Hall of Fame later on as well, if you're a borderline guy. All these types of things are factors into that. And if you're making it just a popularity contest, then those things need to be off the table, out of the way, not even included or thought about. Because otherwise you're reducing the importance of those things.
Trey Turner was asked by The Athletic whether popular additions like Mizorowski potentially cheapen the All-Star selection process. Trey Turner, 100%. I mean, it's not the All-Star game in the sense that the best players go there or people who have had the best season. It's whoever sells the most tickets or has been put on social media the most. That's essentially what it's turned into. Kyle Schwarber says, even if you're going to ask him that, okay, let me see. Let me get this right. Suarez said, this is what Schwarber's talking about. Ranger Suarez said last week that MLB invited him to the All-Star game on the condition that he would be available to pitch. He said he declined, citing his desire to rest, and MLB therefore opted against naming him an All-Star. Schwarber said even if you're going to ask him that, then he should be labeled an All-Star at that point.
Yes.
Not just if you can pitch. Now, part of that is the tie that was under Bud Selig when they had to call the game and call it a tie, and everything was up in arms after that. Sanchez, by the way, is 7-2 with a 2.59 ERA. That is the 4th lowest ERA in the National League among qualified starters. So you got the Philadelphia Phillies, these are position players, but they are upset that one or both of their guys are not there.
I get it. And, Trey Turner's probably upset because he leads the league in hits, and he's not as well. So, I think the Phillies only have, 2 All-Stars that they've part of the roster. So there's more to it probably than just that, but I do understand it, again, from their perspective. I mean, look, some of these guys, even veterans, they're probably in there and like, why are you here, kid? Like, are you, I don't know.
Did you see the video of Pat Murphy announcing in the Brewers clubhouse that Miz had made it?
Yeah.
And then he spoke to his teammates, and he cried a little bit. I mean, he was... And don't blame the kid.
No, it's not his fault.
I mean,
would've
this kid
that.
is the real deal. I mean, I've seen him pitch a couple of times, and then you see the highlights, and you hear the 20 pitches over 100 miles an hour in his last start. It's pretty impressive. Now, Matthew Boyd is not going because he just pitched on Sunday. He wouldn't be available anyway. They've got to have available arms. So they decided, hey, Mizorowski's going to be pitching on rest. Get him out there. Let's market this young guy.
Yeah. I would like to know your opinion
so if
on
he
that
had,
as well.
if he had 11 like Skeens, would you have a problem?
No, I don't think so.
I think if you look at it and...
I mean, it's 25 innings. He's 5 starts, 25 innings.
If you look at it and think, okay, this guy has not paid his dues, I understand. If you're talking about box office, eyeballs, excitement, bring him on. Is Clayton Kershaw an all-star this year? No.
It's different because he has.
Yes, he's got a body of work.
Yes.
And he's
that's
not
different.
making it because he's having a great year.
Now,
Major League Baseball said, bring on this legend.
Great with that. Pujols, Cabrera, they've done that, right? The Legends Committee, whatever. The only thing I would say that mirrors this a little bit, Eric, with the All-Star game, and I'm totally cool with getting it away, the fan vote, right? Mookie Betts, does he deserve to be an All-Star this year?
No.
No, he does not. But he's going to be an all-star starter. Does he deserve it? No. But it's because of the popularity of that player.
That's been happening
Sure.
every year since the fans have been allowed. And it's their game.
And that's fine. I think most people have understood that because, like you said, it's been a part of the All-Star festivities for so many years now. But this hasn't happened before. So that's part of the, I guess, conversation around it.
How do you feel about Skeens getting the start again?
I think it's the right choice. I mean, he's been the best. He's been the best pitcher in the game, no doubt. Yeah, the record's not there, but he leads the league in the ERA. He's a guy that, like you said, everybody wants to see. And then you have the matchup too. Skubal. I mean, you talk about name 2 better pitchers in the game than Tarek Skubal and Paul Skeens.
I think those are the 2 best pitchers.
Exactly. So that's the perfect matchup that you would want. And so he's totally deserving to be in there. Again, leading the league. I think he's your Cy. I think both of those guys, right now, on paper, if the season ended today, both of them would win the Cy Young Award.
I'm interested to see what Skeens' record is going to be at the end of the day. I gave you the year that Nolan Ryan was 7-15.
Does he get to 10 wins?
7-15, and he led Major League Baseball in ERA and strikeouts, but he was 7-15, playing for a horrid Houston Astros team.
Could be something similar.
But did you know that Nolan Ryan never won the Cy Young Award? Ever.
That is
It's unfathomable.
It is. That's crazy.
Especially the year, what was it, 73, when he broke Koufax's single-season strikeout record with 383? Nice year, not the Cy Young winner. Kidding me? I think some people may not know, how do you make the All-Star team? Well, there's fan voting.
For position players.
There's player voting.
Right.
There's coach
Coaches.
voting. I'm going to give you the exact wording on how someone makes the All-Star team. Going to read it straight from Major League Baseball.
Hear it.
But first, are you taking calls?
Yeah, let's take a call.
All right, we go to the EBOMD Huddle Hotline, where our buddy Mike is on the line. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, fellas.
Hey, good morning.
I'm kind of different. I'm kind of glad this kid got put on the All-Star team. It's like you said, Eric. If they want to showcase their talented players, that's what this kid is right now. And I'm just going to throw 3 players out there. If you've got the American League bringing up Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and Vlad Guerrero Jr. in the 3rd inning, would you rather see this kid throwing 103 miles an hour to those three batters or somebody else?
Or Ranger Suarez. I want to see Mizorowski.
You betcha. And I understand your point, Rusty, about there's a lot more deserving pitchers over the long haul that deserve to get in there. But this is what I want to see. If I'm watching an exhibition game, not a regular game, if I'm watching an exhibition game, that's what it's all about to me. You want to see best happen.
Let's see it next year, the year after that, and the year after that. How about that?
Well, if he has that type of year next year and he's still throwing 103, 104, yes, put him back in there.
Absolutely.
But as of right now, this is what I want to see as a fan. I want to see this kid come in against the Aaron Judges, against the Vlad Guerreros. I want to see this kid and just see what he can do with them.
Here's my question. If you are Doc Roberts, who is the manager of the Dodgers, he's the manager of the National League, is he going to play this old school? Okay, it's great that Mizorowski made the roster. I'm not going to pitch him. Or is he going to bring him in fairly early in the game before Judge sits down, before some of the starters go back to the bench and they start bringing in bench guys who are great players too? Or if you're Dave Roberts, or if you're old school, I'm kind of fall into the category of Rusty. The guy really hadn't earned anything. I'll decide whether or not he pitches. What do you think?
I think you've got to go with the fact it's an exhibition game and fans want to see this matchup. If you don't go that route, I'm sorry, there's something wrong with you. It's not about have you earned it, have you haven't earned it. Baseball put him there. Use him where it gets the most fans excited, Eric. I think that's the way you go if you're Robert.
I want to see the kid pitch early in the game while the starters are still in there.
Yes, sir. I do. Even if he just goes, it's like you said earlier, Eric. You bring him in for one inning, and you let him just blow it out. You let him come out there and say, "Kid, just go get them." And I think it will be must-watch TV if you do that. If you hold him back until the starters are out of the game, then you've done a disservice to this kid, I think. Now, I may be wrong, and Rusty, you probably don't agree with me, but that's my opinion, and I think that's the way it is, I think.
All right. Hey, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Who do you like in the home run derby?
I don't know. I haven't really kept up with it, Eric. I just don't get excited anymore about these all-star games, except on this point with this kid coming in and pitching. And I've got one more comment before I go. How many times, and Eric, you've got the computer, and I would like to know how many times we have brought Helmsley in the ninth with a tie game, and he's given up the lead. How many times are we going to see that going forward? I know Jeff said you use your best closer when you're in a tie game at home. You do this, that, and the other. But, man, has he not given up the lead so many times that you just can't do it anymore?
I wonder this. And he's your best guy out there. I wonder this. Do either of you guys think maybe his trade value has taken a slight step backwards because he hasn't been as good? And if you just look at analytical numbers against his fastball, they are hitting his fastball, no velocity change. He's throwing just as hard as he did last year, but they're hitting his fastball more, which is why he's throwing his slider more. I just wonder if his trade value has dropped a little bit.
If you watch him last year compared to this year, if you watch, his fastball's not moving like it was last year. You can throw 101, 102 miles all you want. If that ball's straight, big league hitters are going to catch up to it. his ball's not moving like it was before. I don't know if he's gripping it different. I don't know what it is, but it just does not seem to be moving like it used to. So, yeah, his trade value has took a step back.
All right, Mike. Good stuff. Thanks for the call.
Thanks, Mike.
See you guys.
All right. 573-334-1220. How do they determine all-stars? Fan voting, coaches, players, MLB Commissioner's Office? We'll break it down for you so you know when we come back. Sports Huddle. It's the Sports Huddle on SEMO ESPN Radio from the Yuengling Sports Huddle Studios. Yuengling, the American iconic lager, America's oldest brewery. Yuengling. Eric Shawn, Rusty Hendricks in studio. Home Run Derby tonight. Major League Baseball All-Star Game Tuesday. The Cardinals are idle until Friday. I wonder how many flights had to be rescheduled, vacation flights, because Rusty, a lot of those players' families were all packed up, ready to head to the airport, and things changed as it was a 7-hour slog yesterday.
Any direct flights
Stadium.
to Cancun from St. Louis?
Maybe some of the Cardinal players were like, well, the way it's been going for us, let's push our flights back until Monday. Maybe we'll leave on Monday. But some probably wanted to get out early. We'll see. But I would bet you there were some flights missed. All right, All-Star Game Tuesday, tomorrow. All-Star rosters are determined through a combination of fan voting, player ballots, and selections by the Commissioner's Office. Fan voting determines the starting position players. Players, coaches, managers vote for the remaining players and pitchers. The Commissioner's Office also makes selections to fill out rosters and can make replacement picks for injured or unavailable players. Fan voting. They vote for the starters, including the designated hitter. 2 phases. Phase 1, fans vote for their top choices at each position. The top vote getters in each league advance to the starting lineup, and then skip phase 2, which is involving voting for finalists at each position to determine the All-Stars. And the voting is conducted online, MLB.com. Player ballots. Players, coaches, and managers vote for the remaining position players and pitchers. It includes 8 pitchers, 5 starters, 3 relievers, and 1 backup for each position. Player ballot selections are combined with those made by the Commissioner's Office to finalize the roster. And then the Commissioner's Office selects additional players to fill out the rosters, ensuring each team has at least 1 representative. They also make replacement picks for injured players, players who decline to participate, and there were a lot of them this year.
Absolutely.
Or pitchers who are unavailable due to their throwing schedule. Each All-Star roster typically has 32 players, 20 position players, 12 pitchers. Each team is guaranteed 1 All-Star representative. That is how they got to these rosters.
Yeah. I get it. And, I get it. Obviously, it was the league's choice, right, for Mizorowski. And I get it. That's their prerogative with, replacing a guy that has bowed out because of, either he can't make it, he's on a pitching schedule, whatever. So I get that. Again, that's not an issue. Again, the only issue is that if there was no one else deserving and he's the best guy, sure, put him in there. But my issue is that there are other guys that were deserving, and I know that there were other guys that would be willing to go as well, even guys that haven't made it to the All-Star game before. Again, now, particular ones that were in the news with the Phillies, those guys in particular, maybe not have been able to make it. That's fine. But again, there were other candidates that were.
So as we hit the All-Star break here, do you know how many players in the National League are hitting 300 or better?
Is there even anybody doing it? I don't know. If there is, maybe 1 or 2.
1.
Yeah.
Will Smith, the catcher for the Dodgers, is hitting .323. The next closest players are Freddie Freeman and Brendan Donovan, .297. There's one 300 hitter in the National League. In the American League, how many do you think there are?
Well, obviously Judge for sure. I'm going to go with 3.
There are 7.
Okay.
Judge, 355. Then you've got Jacob Wilson of the A's, Jonathan Aranda of Tampa Bay, Jeremy Pena and Jake Myers of Houston, and Alejandro Kirk, who is hitting .303 for the Toronto Blue Jays and wrecked the Cardinals when they swept St. Louis at Busch Stadium. They couldn't get him out. They couldn't get Sean Murphy out over the weekend. So he is the Joel Pozo of the,
the Blue Jays.
The expanded waistline catcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. But he's having a great year, great ball striker. The Cardinals had the number 5 pick in the MLB draft.
Hey.
And we could talk more about it tomorrow. I've got the breakdown. They've got 4 players. But the top player, their number 1 selection from the University of Tennessee, lefty Liam Doyle. This is as high as the Cardinals have drafted in a generation.
98.
Randy Flores, the assistant general manager, spoke to the media right after the selection yesterday of Liam Doyle.
I think that he has a tremendous engine, as they say in the scouting world, from all sides. Our performance department, our analytical department, our scouts. It's really fun when you can get things like that align. The further and further away from the draft, there's greater chance that they're not aligning. But that was one where when we saw that he could be in play as that board unfolded, everyone was excited.
He hasn't even probably put on a Cardinals jersey yet ceremonially.
Right.
Let alone what I'm about to ask is, do you know realistically when you think he could reach St. Louis?
I wish, man. I wish I could say it was tomorrow. But you never know with these things. I think what we need to do is get him onboarded. He threw a lot of innings this year. We need to find out, his physical capacity, what his goals are regarding, whether or not he wants to throw this year or not, and then from that, figure out a work plan for him, both this summer and then the off season. And all reports, as you guys have seen and heard, or heard on TV, is that he really, really turned a corner this year. Got in the gym, took it very serious. We have a network where we reached out to his strength and conditioning coaches and just said it's a night and day difference, and he just exploded.
All right, the cool thing, I thought, first of all, the Cardinals took 2 pitchers from the University of Tennessee, and with their second pick, they took a high school outfielder named Ryan Mitchell. Then they took Tanner Franklin, right-handed flamethrower pitcher from Tennessee, which is where Liam Doyle pitched, and he's tracking to be a relief pitcher. And then they took a first baseman from the University of San Diego. So we'll break the picks down a little bit more tomorrow. We're running late here, but Liam Doyle, the cool thing was when Doyle was picked, you could watch the draft on either ESPN or MLB Network. They each had their own different telecast. The cool thing, MLB Network had Tony Vitello on the show, the coach of Tennessee.
Yep.
So he could speak to Doyle. He could speak about Tanner Franklin. It was cool to hear him, who was with him the entire way. And obviously, Vitello is going to say good things. But, man, he absolutely loves Liam Doyle. And everybody is thumbs up, A-plus draft pick for the St. Louis Cardinals. I haven't read anything that said the Cardinals did not get a game-changing type arm.
It's different than what they're used to. Real quick, Eric, because he's a guy that was projected to go as high as 2 in the draft in Liam Doyle, and he fell down to 5. There was a little bit of chaos there, at the beginning of the draft this year, that a little unexpected. So for them to get a guy that typically the Cardinals don't go after, a flamethrower type, and 2 of those, I don't know who the scout is, and the Southern scout for the Cardinals, the guy that maybe scouts the Tennessee area, but that guy apparently really was going after his guys, and they agreed to do that, so he maybe deserves a raise. But I love the picks. There was a good piece by Fangraphs. Maybe we can get in tomorrow about it, but he's a high energy, he's a fiery guy. He kind of, as far as a personality, kind of reminds me of Jack Flaherty. So kind of a guy that potentially could rub some people the wrong way, but at the same time, if he can back it up, he's going to be loved by Cardinals fans.
There were many who thought that the number one pick by the Nationals was going to be Ethan Holliday.
Or Cade Anderson.
Matt Holliday's other son. Jackson Holliday is having a pretty good year for the Baltimore Orioles. Instead, they went with a high school shortstop switch hitter, Eli Willits. I think that was a mild surprise. Willits was certainly a top 10 guy.
He was the guy projected that the Cardinals would get.
Tyler Bremner went to the Angels, right-handed pitcher. He's got kind of an emotional story. His mom died last month.
Right.
And then Cade Anderson from LSU went 3 to Seattle, the flame-throwing lefty. And if you watched the postseason and the College World Series, you know Cade Anderson is. Ethan Holliday went number 4 to the Rockies. And it was a cool shot of him on the couch and Matt and his wife sitting right next to him. They were fired up. And, Matt Holliday started his career with the Rockies. He ended his career with the Rockies. No, they're not in a good spot right now, but they got
good pick for them.
Aircraft carrier. For those who don't know, Ethan Holliday is a shortstop. Now, there are many that project him to probably move to third base at some point.
6'4", Eric.
6'4", 210. He's going to put on more weight than the 210. So he's a big guy. He is a left-handed hitter. And then the Cardinals with Liam Doyle at number 5. So we'll kind of break down what the Cardinals did and what they're going to do today. And so it's fun for the MLB draft, especially years where you think maybe a SEMO player, there's a bunch of OVC guys. I've followed the draft, pick by pick by pick to kind of see what's going on. I don't think there is a big anticipation that there are going to be a lot of OVC guys selected. We shall see. But I like the MLB draft. Not as big as the other sports. We understand that. But they do a nice job on MLB Network, and so you can tune into that if you want to follow the baseball draft.
And they made a good decision a couple of years ago, Eric, to move it to the All-Star Game festivities. I think that it's great that they've moved it to this weekend to coincide with the All-Star Game. That was a perfect move for them, and I think it's only going to grow.
ESPN and ESPN2 tonight, the Home Run Derby. They don't have as many splashy, recognizable names this year. That doesn't mean that the Home Run Derby is going to disappoint. I like it. The ratings are always good, and the fans love it. It's always a sellout in Atlanta, Truist Park, 7 o'clock Central Time tonight. And it's ESPN, ESPN2, Carl Ravitch, Eduardo Perez. We'll be doing the Home Run Derby, and they'll have lots of guests on, and so they'll be talking to people. Here are the odds for the Home Run Derby, and Jess and I always make a prediction. The favorite is Cal Raleigh of the Mariners, MLB home run leader, followed by, and there are 8 participants, followed by O'Neal Cruz of the Pirates, James Wood of the Nationals, 3rd, Matt Olson of the Braves, 4th, Brent Rooker of the Athletics, number 5, 6, Byron Buxton of the Twins, Junior Caminero of Tampa Bay, 7, and I don't know why he's in the field. Maybe he'll surprise some people. Jazz Chisholm of the New York Yankees. He is a plus 1,400, so nobody expects him to win. Jess never likes to go with the favorite. I don't care about favorite or not. I'm going with Cal Raleigh, the big dumper, and he is the favorite. I have no qualms in picking the favorite, but by me picking him, he has no chance. Who do you like?
So 2 guys stand out to me, and It's two guys that it's not necessarily the favorite, and it's two guys it's not necessarily household names, but that's Byron Buxton and O'Neal Cruz. I think both could have good performances. I'm going to go with the lower odds just because. I'm going to go with Buxton. That'll be my guy I ride with. But
okay.
I think my number 2 would be O'Neal Cruz.
James Wood just has unbelievable raw power.
He does. Yeah.
For the Nationals.
That's a sleeper.
It's Matt Olson's home ballpark. Remember, he hit over 50 home runs a couple of years ago.
And he's a Georgia guy, so he's literally from that area too. So.
And he can generate the power. And one late addition, apparently, to the All-Star roster, Miles Michaelis has been chosen to throw the home run derby. So we want to see as many home runs as possible. So Miles Michaelis will be on hand. He'll be.
Oh, we're going to see some home runs now.
Yeah, it's a joke. Just trying to get a little laugh. All right, the Catfish won a couple of games over the weekend. They did not play yesterday. They do not play today, but they will be in action tomorrow. Dubois County at Kappahaw tomorrow night. I guess we can talk a little bit more about it tomorrow, sure. But Catfish are idle here. It's weird, just back-to-back days off.
Yeah, a little weird scheduling thing, but comes at the right time. They're a little bit banged up, too, so get a couple of guys some rest. So believe it or not, there's only a few games left, in the season. So that's the month. I think there's only, 8 home games left at Kappahaw during the regular season, Eric. So if you haven't made it, time's winding down.
And on the 25th, is it the 25th?
25th.
25th will be River Radio Night. What did we say? That was a Thursday?
Friday.
It was a Friday. So a week from Friday, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, a week from Friday, River Radio Night. So we will be out at the ball. You'll be there, obviously, broadcasting. But I would say that the lovely and talented Dawn Shawn will be excited to go to the Catfish game. We had a good time the last time that we went. And so we'll be out on the home run party deck watching some Catfish baseball a week from Thursday. The Squirrels were eliminated from the state tournament, but they are hosting the regional starting Thursday.
Big week.
So they'll be done with the regional by that time, so my schedule will be free.
All right. That'll be good.
Okay. And you're back tomorrow, right?
Back tomorrow.
All right. Rusty Hendricks rejoins us tomorrow. Stay tuned. Clinton and friends. I think he's in Atlanta. They'll be talking some baseball on Clinton and friends. Imagine that, ESPN Radio talking baseball. It's an outrage. Sports Huddle coming back tomorrow. Enjoy your Monday, everybody.